Hi, everybody. We have just started. Shout out to everybody in the chat, guys. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm still setting my stuff up a little bit here as we are going live. I let everybody know that we are live. Hopefully, you guys can hear me. Let me know in the chat if y'all can hear me. Hold up. I can hear me. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Welcome, guys. Welcome. Let me shout out some folks in here. Heidi, how you doing? Hey there, Joe. Shout out to you. Thank you for being here. Who else? Renee, welcome. Welcome, welcome. Shout out to the people on Twitter who have just liked our video. Thank you, Celia. Shout out to you. Hey, Stevie, welcome. Renee, Heidi, Tiffany, welcome. Don't look back. Welcome. Luna Mia, welcome. Everybody. Shari, welcome. Hey, Jen, how you doing, love? Shari, thank you. You said he's scared of the attention goes away. Pixie, welcome. Nebulous, Angela, welcome. Pepperoni, welcome. Gaslit in the chat, welcome. Woo-wee. Angela, welcome, welcome, welcome. Billy Joe, welcome. Diane, how you doing, love? Shout out to you. Thank you for being here. Corn Freak, welcome. Yes, everybody, Simply Me, Canine, CC, Haymakers. Hey, welcome, welcome. Everybody, Shopaholic, I see you. Hey, love, how you doing, love? Welcome, welcome, welcome. I sound great. Well, good. I'm glad. Welcome, everybody. Tina's in the house. Welcome. Be Kind is in the house. I haven't seen you in a minute, Be Kind. Hope you're doing well. Nebby's in the house. Hey, Fran, Suzanne, everybody. All right. Elise, welcome. Thank you for being here. Everybody, welcome, welcome, welcome. Y'all, I got my drink. Get your drink. Listen, this one's going to be not a very long live. I wanted to talk a little bit about this situation because I was reading a little bit more information on these new revelations that are coming about Chris Watts. And I have some questions about these new revelations. In addition to that, I got like 2 other videos that I'm working on. I'm trying to drop one today on Kourtney Kardashian trying to scam the people, the good people of the good people. She's trying to scam the good people. Okay, she's doing her little Lemmy products. Let me scam you a little bit more. So we got to talk about that. That's going to be a separate video. But this right here, yes, Heidi, you ain't never lied. Thank you for the name. Okay, so you guys remember a couple weeks back we talked about Chris Watts and how there was information about like a letter or something like that where he talked about his mistress and what he was saying about his mistress. We were talking a little bit about that and we had a lot of questions, right? Hey, Johnson. So I started kind of eyebrow on this a little bit. I'm noticing News Nation is reporting on this. A lot of folks are reporting on like this new Chris Watts information. Convicted killer Chris Watts blames wife for him murdering her and daughters. I said, oh, okay. So what do we know? We know that he strangled his pregnant wife and suffocated his 2 daughters. He buried them at his work site and hid their daughters' bodies in like oil drums. Horrific, brutal murder. This man is a evil man. Okay, we know that. And so Chris Watts had this like side piece, Nicole, right? And we kind of know where the story goes from there. All right. But News Nation reported on this, and I'm noticing that a lot of the reports that are talking about the story is very similar, right? A Colorado dad now blames his wife for her and his 2 daughters over 6 years ago. Okay. Chris Watts, who's now 39, described Shanann as a control freak, according to handwritten notes obtained by the New York Post. Handwritten notes obtained by the New York Post. Watts confessed to strangling Shanann, who was pregnant, in their home in Frederick on August 13th of 2018. After she returned from a business trip, he drove her body to his job site and disposed of it. He also suffocated his 2 daughters, 4-year-old Bella and 3-year-old Celeste, and hid their bodies in oil drums, okay? His alleged motives was to be with this mistress, Nicole. Now, this is where I kind of side-eye things a little bit. In his letters, Watts shared most of his thoughts with Dylan Tallman, a fellow inmate at the Wisconsin prison who befriended him. However, after Watts backed out of the plan to co-write a prayer book, Tallman released a series of 3 books titled The Cell Next Door. According to the letters, Watts confided in Tallman that his marriage to Shanann was unhappy, and he mentioned that she was very busy with her job, leaving him as a primary caretaker of the daughters. How do we know that Chris Watts actually is the one that wrote these letters? How do we know that it was Chris Watts that actually wrote these letters? So this is how I'm picturing this, because I remember reading about Nicole and the things that he always had to say. I agree, Jones, and I could believe it. He takes zero accountability. But let me tell you what really just follow me here, right? I went to the book. All the books you can get them from. Oh Lord, hold up, let me share it. You get them from Amazon, okay? It's where you find your book, Amazon, right? So I'm reading it, and it's like part three. It's a part three series. The series continues as the author is celled up side by side with Chris. The author, Dylan, begins to unravel the truth about the famous case. Chris writes a spiritual book with Dylan and tells his story through the words of Jesus Christ, giving the truth with the Lord, giving a truth with the truth of the Lord. Chris confides in Dylan and tells him about the murders, why they happened, and how they happened. This is a part three. So I'm going down. I'm like, okay, Dylan writes a little bio and he says, I wrote this last book in prison. The editing process took me a full year and it is finally published. I came from nothing, out of the mud, trying to build brick by brick. And I wanted all my readers to know that I'm credible to write a book like this because I have lived it. So if I understand this correctly, he wants people to believe that he's credible based off of Chris Watts' story. Like, I can believe that he might have had conversations with Chris Watts, but do y'all see the bio too? That I'm like, wait a minute, you're saying you're writing your experience with Chris Watts, which, I mean, to me, if it was a reporter that was interviewing him, right, it should be no different. Should be no different. But I'm not gonna trust somebody who was a cell in a cell with him, right, to think that he's gonna be out here telling the truth. And what exactly notes is he? Are these notes that he had where he's blaming her? Yeah, Renee, this is what I'm like, okay, I'm side-eyeing this at this point. So the prison roommate is writing the book. He was supposed to write a book with Chris Watts about Jesus. Okay. So now everybody is using what Dylan Tallman is saying Chris Watts wrote to write this book. Yeah, how are you supposed to know that they're real? How are you going to trust that? Hey, James. Hey, Vic. Hey, everybody coming through. Is that sus? So I sat there and I was like, I don't know about this, you guys. That's so everybody's quoting Dylan Tallman. Okay. He might have agreed to it. Maybe they did something together or whatever, but are we literally just quoting straight from this man? Exactly. No, I agree with you, K9. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, okay? It continues. The article continues. Watts claims he started attracting attention from women after losing weight and working out in 2017. He eventually met Nicole. She was just everything my wife wasn't, like me. She was just nice and not a control freak. We could make decisions together. Watts confided to Tallman that Nicole became the death of me. We read that part, right? The whole Jezebel letter. In one letter obtained by the New York Post, he referred to her as a harlot and a Jezebel. Her flattering speech was like drops of honey that pierced my soul, my heart and soul. Little did I know that all her guests were in the chamber of death. Watts wrote this prayer of confession in a letter dated March 2020. Watts pleaded guilty and was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. For his safety, he was transferred to the Dodge Correctional Institution in Wisconsin. Okay, so they are quoting, right, K9. K9, are we? Thank you for saying that. Well, Jodi Arias is over here painting, and she's definitely selling some paintings. Mm-hmm. I have questions. That's all. How are they checking this? Heart. I don't know. Mother Baggins. Mother Baggins is like the word heartlet needs to make a comeback, and so does Jezebel. I don't know. I mean, I have not heard anybody unless it's in the Bible or somebody singing about it, like in a type of. I guess I haven't heard that being used too often. I know, Cat B. You're right. You're right. It's easy to blame a person who can't speak up anymore. It really is. But from last that I remember, Chris Watts isn't giving any exclusive interviews to anybody. Now, here's the deal. Why should Dylan Tallman be able to profit from Chris Watts' story? Okay. From the tragedy and the murders when does that make sense? Like, I feel a little some type of way because he's saying over here that he got his trust, confided in him. And I'm wondering about this. I'm wondering about this. Jordy T. Jordy T. Hold up, Jordy T. Evil. Shout out to Evil. No, don't stay in the bushes, Evil. Jordy T says, I'm an atheist. But if Chris Watts says he's walking to the Lord to write a book, I will believe just so I can ask him questions because I have some questions. Hey, Christina. Welcome. And come out, Evil. Come out. You said, don't hate Jody. Girls got to earn. I mean, she's got to earn money somehow. I get that, but I don't know. You got to see Tiffany. You got to see how much she's earning in there. I mean, she's definitely making money off of her art. I'll say that much. What do y'all think? Let's keep reading. Do you guys? I just don't know if I trust the writer. Okay, I'm gonna say that much. Killer dad, Chris Watts now blames control freak wife for affair that led him to murder her and their 2 young daughters. Okay. So I want to see the letters. So the newly revealed letters, he labeled his pregnant wife Shanann as a control freak. Okay, so how do we know that he wrote these letters? That's what I want to know. Huh? Just because he was Sally's with him doesn't mean that he wrote the letters. How do we know he wrote the letters? Okay, hold up. Who the hell is this? This is Dylan. This is Dylan, y'all. Okay. Says that Watts confided to Tallman that his marriage to Shanann was unhappy, according to the letters. She was really busy with her job and everything it required, Watts told Tallman, adding that he often was the primary caregiver of his daughters. This is Dylan. I agree, Heidi. You said cow. That's what I want. I just want to know, News Nation, did y'all ask yourselves the question whether any of this is reliable? Did you guys like have a handwriting person to validate these letters? Like, did you guys what I could say that I, was Sellies with Jodi Arias? Does it mean that what she says is accurate, or that whatever I say and I write a book? This man is writing a book about what Chris Watts told him. Maybe. No, Adrian, stop. Stop. Um okay, Spirit Jones. Like, why are you talking about the glare over here? I don't have like go bring that shit out to the glare, please and thank you. I don't know why you bring this shit up here. Like, what am I the glare's mama? Go bring it up to the glare. Shout out to the glare. I don't got an issue with the glare. Okay. Go bring it up to the glare. Do you see what I'm saying? It's like, what do you want me to do? You want me to go and drag the glare? Get the hell out of here. Don't carry bones from other people's channels to here. What do you want me to do about it? Hello? I can believe. Ooh, shout out to you. I'm surprised he hasn't been moved to protective custody of me since he killed his 3 children. Even prisoners would be targeting him. They moved him to a different state. I know it's a whole different Linda. Like, why y'all bringing people over here that ain't got nothing to do? That's the easiest way to get blocked. Well, and Jordy T, like, honestly, don't you think that why wouldn't, hey Layla, why wouldn't if Chris Watts wanted to talk about this, and maybe he did want to write a book, don't get me wrong, I just don't know if I believe everything that this man is saying. And then his intentions say everything. Like when I was reading his Amazon about me, I said, Lord have mercy, no. You're trash for that. And I'm sure that the profits aren't going to go to Shanann's family whatsoever. You know? I thought it was both, Maria, because he initially talked about the affair and how he was like entangled in that. So at one point he does blame Nicole, but then I guess he's blaming Shanann. Yes. About exactly. That's it. That's what I'm saying. It's like, look, you guys, like the book, I saw it. I said, okay, so he wrote a book. We've talked about this. And then he says on his about me, I wrote this book. I wrote this last book in prison. The editing process took me a full year and it's finally published. I came from nothing, out of the mud, trying to build brick by brick. I want all my readers to know that I'm credible to write a book like this because I have lived it. So you were in prison or locked up in jail, whatever, with Chris Watts. That's not you building brick by brick. You're using Chris Watts' story and his confessions to build brick by brick. Does that make sense? That's what it seems like to me, Jen. This is part 3, James. This is part 3. Like, how does the family feel about this? This is part 3. Wow. He could, maybe. Why does he need part 3 for this? But here's the deal, Cappy. My only worry about this man is that we have this is what he's alleging that Chris wrote in letters, okay? And so they were supposed to write a book about Jesus and forgiveness, and then they've had a fallout. So what does this man do? He decides to take that information and write his own book and talk about how Chris Watts confessed the murder and the details and stuff like that. My concern with this is that you're literally using this tragedy to build yourself brick by brick. Does that make sense? And also, who is like reviewing these letters? Who is making sure that Chris Watts was actually the one that wrote these letters? I can believe that he confessed. I can believe that Chris Watts, in his, demented mind, thought that, that killing her and doing this would have, whatever. Like, I can understand maybe those conversations. Right. Is this very Christian of him? Yes. He really is, Billy Joe. I like Shanann's brother. He's been struggling as well with some of the legal stuff, and he's been fighting a lot of people on the internet. But like, look at this man right here. That's what I just don't. That's what I want to know. Did they figure out who exactly? You know what, James? I want to know too, because News Nation has picked up the book, okay, and they're writing articles about it. Now you got the New York Post. Hold up, and let's see what other sites. There's been so many other sites that have, and I mean, you have other YouTubers that are also talking about this. I mean, you have Crime Talk. Shout out to Crime Talk. He's one of my faves on YouTube as far as legal stuff too. But Crime Talk covered a lot of the Shanann Watts coverage.
Chris Watts finally.
I just don't know if, like I said, I have questions about the person that's putting all this together. I don't know if people have actually like checked it, if they determined that it is Chris Watts who wrote this, or what exactly this was, who and what. I just have a lot of questions. So there's Dylan, there's Nicole, okay? And when Watts lost weight and started working out, we read that part. Okay. but they're not showing a picture of the letter. They're not, are they just saying that Chris Watts told him that? Or what exactly are they using? That's what I don't understand. That's a great question. It's just I think anybody can write a book and put it on Kindle and have it published. Honestly, I don't think it's like it's not like how you have to go through like a publishing company or anything like that. Hold up, y'all. You said can't take responsibility. Seems like wants to blame the mistress and now blame. I just yeah, self-published, the real deal. I just don't know if Chris Watts actually wrote this. I can believe that he might have said something. I just don't know. That's the thing. Is I want us to be very careful. It is very easy. Yeah. So he like probably self-published on Kindle. I can write a book and publish it on Kindle and maybe sell it through there. I just don't know if he's actually the one that wrote it. It is. It is. So, who verified that Chris Watts wrote these letters? That's what I want to know. I just have a lot of questions because when I was reading this morning, and I said, "Wait a minute, I thought this was already done. That this somebody, and I would have given this person the benefit of the doubt because I think I saw pictures, if I remember correctly, of the first letters. But now that he's saying all this, I just don't know if Chris Watts actually wrote this because I'm gonna need some analysis. I'm gonna need somebody to tell me this is somebody that was sharing a cell with him next door who said this. Do we know that he actually wrote this? That is true, Nebulous. That is true. But everybody's taking it like he did write it. Hey Yadira. Written or hearsay? I don't know. You said people like writing books slandering the deceased names. It's not right. This, in my opinion, is selling out or selling your soul to the devil, morals and values. Well, he's using Jesus Christ. Just being a decent human is priceless. Yes, I hear you on that. Nope, not today. Shout out to you. Said Chris Watts didn't write the book. I hear you on that. I know that. What they're saying though is concerning to me because how do you confirm any of this at this point? Anybody can write a book and say that they were cellmates of Chris Watts. Do we know that this actually happened? This guy said he's got letters, handwritten letters. Has anybody verified these letters? And by the way, I don't even think Chris Watts did what he did. He confessed to it, guys. Confessed to it. But the bigger problem is this, is that because we can't verify everything, this man is using Chris Watts, situation, story, and even what happened to Shanann and her children to do all this, to publish this. That's the question that I have. It's like, is that okay? Because they're literally, you have News Nation quoting this man. You have everybody quoting this man as if it's like, can y'all verify that this actually happened? Because he says it on his Amazon profile. I'm trying to build brick by brick. Based off of this? Really? Right here. Talking about him and the other cellmate YouTubers. Yeah, they do. What do y'all think? You said, oh, as long as it's true, but is it? Is it coming straight from his words? Is it? Joe says they don't have to verify what he said. He has to verify what he said is true. And that's how they get around it. Joe. I don't know. I side-eye Tallman, honestly. Welcome, Sharon. Welcome. Okay, Breaking Chains. Shout out to Breaking Chains. Says, I've been following the Watts case since the beginning. Dylan legitimately spent time with Watts in jail. But he's a very shady person. It should be looked at with the other side. Thank you. Shout out to you, love. Because that's what I'm saying. It's like, wait, we're going to be quoting a cellmate, y'all? Come on now. Listen. And I'm not shitting on anybody because, like I said, everybody makes mistakes in life. And I appreciate that this young man is trying to build this life brick by brick. But I do question him because you over here said you're working on a book about Jesus with this man, okay? And then you use his writings for whatever reason, they fell out. You use his writings to publish this book. Self-serving, my friend. Very self-serving. Now, let me tell you, it's not about whether you make $1 or not. That's not what this is about. It's about the fact that you're using that man's crime, what you said he said to you, and it's a horrific crime. And then people are quoting you as being credible, which I don't know if we can say that because that's his version. And he's got a 3-part series on an Amazon Kindle thing. I side eye all of it. I would believe that he might have spent time with Chris Watts. They might have been really good friends at one point. But I do feel like there's a little bit of shadiness going on here. That's just my thought. Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Joe. Say it louder. This is a bad look. True. Yeah, exactly. You accept the punishment and not use the crime as a way to make money. Tina, how is that different than like it's one thing to report on a story, but for him to use this book and say that he's not part of that case, if that makes sense. Okay, great. Shout out to you. He and Watts wrote a prayer book together. Gotcha. So then they fell out. It sounds like he didn't want to finish that prayer book. He said these books are a quick read. I agree. He is using the conversation with Chris. If I was cellmates with Jodi Arias and I decided to use the conversations that I had with Jodi Arias about Travis and what she did to him, would that be okay for me to write a book? Let me know. Let me know. Y'all let me know. What if I say, well, these are the words and these are the things that was said? Would that be okay? That's a great question. See, I don't know his background. And I really don't try. Honestly, guys, like I said, I don't try to get at people like that, but I do want to know what would be acceptable in this sense. Let me know. Okay. You said, nope, they just have to use protective language, allegedly, in my opinion, for entertainment purposes only at some point in the book, preface or back. So even if we can't even confirm that some of these conversations were had, right? Or that the letters are real, let me know. You said I have a very difficult time accepting that convicted hardcore felons are able to make a ton of money from prison. Isn't everybody upset about Gypsy Rose being able to make money and profit and have a whole reality TV show after her mother's murder? Isn't that what the issue is? Everybody, and we brought in a lawyer who explained it to us that she's able to profit off of the crime. She's able to make money off of the crime. Okay, here's a man that has nothing to do with the crime. He's not an investigative journalist. He's literally his cellmate. Okay. And his cellmate starts telling him things. So if I share a cell with Jodi Arias and she starts telling me stuff about Travis and everything that was going on, and I decide to write a book, are y'all going to come at me? Let me know. So I was reading this and I said, let me tell you something. Something's wrong with this. I was laying in bed and I was like, I don't know about this. And then the guy is starting to give me some type of weird vibe. I don't know. I'm just going to say that. Thank you, Jordy. Say it louder. She made money, tons of money out of prison. In prison. You ain't never lie, Oklahoma. You ain't never lie. Attaching themselves to the Wade, that's another one. You know how many emails I have gotten from folks that said, Rabbit, talk about Wade Wilson, talk about this. And I said, I don't know, because there's just too much idolizing of the bullshit that I don't know how I feel about this guy at this point. He did an interview on another channel a couple years ago. It was a train wreck. Yes, please do, love. Let me hold up. This is my email if you want to send that to me. Really, Kale? Hey, Stormy. That's insane. Are you kidding me? Hold up. You guys, I've been working on another drop that I'm about to do tomorrow. And I have so many videos I got lined up that I got to finish uploading. Hold up. Really? I don't see it. You said he 70,000? That's what I want. Well, I mean, is this for his defense? You're kidding. Hold up, I got to see this cuz you got me stuck on this. Are people really liking this character? Why are people like? Can y'all let me know what's there like about this guy? Wow. Well, there you go. Woman donates 24,000 to save a convicted woman killer Wade Wilson from the death penalty as judge weighs his sentence. He's giving me Richard Ramirez vibes, y'all. You're kidding. This is from a legal lawyer website. $24,000. Y'all know, what can you do with $24,000? Are you kidding me? Y'all, let me go check my email. I cannot. See, I was just going to do a short little video, but now you guys got me. Now I'm about to lose my ish here in a minute. Hold up. I'll wait for you to send that link if you can, love. Thank you so much for the heads up on that. Yeah. Send that money to the victims, right? Infuriates me when prisoners get money like that because a mom who lived on the streets after being almost unalive by my ex. I'm disabled now and can't work, and nobody gives me money. I'm sorry, Heidi. That's fans. That's fans. He ran over a woman to make her look like spaghetti, and he would do it again. I believe it. I believe it. Thank you, Billy. You know what? Here's the deal: is that some of you guys have sent me stuff, and you've said, "Robbie, you got to cover this. You got to cover this." And I feel like every time y'all tell me to cover something, it's because you want me to lose my shit. And I'm just reading this article alone is going to make me lose my shit. I know you guys are too much. Oh my god. Oh my god. Well, let me know what you guys think. You never I know, right, Tiffany? I do go down rabbit holes, that's for sure. I guess I'd like to understand. Do you need something to do with $24,000? Do you really not know what to do with that? Really? He does look very proud of himself. He loses my shit. He does. I will definitely. Thank you so much, Big Blue. Thank you. I'll check it out. Guys, I'm behind on my emails. Prisoners can only buy $250 worth of commissary or whereabouts per month. Thereabouts per month, excuse me. So it really doesn't matter how much he has. It won't make. So is this for his legal fund then? I mean, Pixie, who you got to kill in order for you to get your dental implant? Let me know. Because honestly, that's what it comes down to. Like, who do we have? People really helping? Like, y'all know how many people out there really need some help and we're doing this? I don't know. Of course she does. Of course she does. I know you're not. No, there's people that no, I know you're not, but there's people in my email that have asked me to cover it, and I don't know how I feel about it quite yet. Because like I said, I might lose my shit. And then there's other creators that are covering it too. So I'll think about it. I'm kind of covering some other stuff right now too. I think it's straight for a lawyer fund. That's what it is, which wouldn't be the first time that people donate to lawyer funds, you know. That being said, though, okay, I guess I'd like to know, what do you guys think about this situation with Dylan Tallman, the author? I mean, it's got some ratings in here. The people are rating 2-star, 3-star. See customer reviews. Oh, Lord. Hold up. Let's read some of these reviews. Okay. Somebody said, DT, you are a great guy. I hope that with these memories, you will help destroy corruption. Maybe someone will take care of what the truth really is. If not, thank you anyway. The books are interesting. Somebody said, wow, another great book. Thank you, Dylan, for sharing your story with the readers yet again. You came through with the answers to questions people have asked for years. Keep writing. You have a gift for sure. Look forward to the next book. The book series shows a good insight into Chris and Dylan's friendship and what Chris was comfortable telling Dylan openly. Okay. Do the other people write any other? That's it. Nothing else. Nothing else. I guess some people really enjoy reading some of this stuff. Let me know. What do you guys think? Should he be able to write a book? Where should the profits go to? I agree with you on that one. Exactly. There's so many things that I really need to be done medically. Yeah, I could definitely use $24,000. Like honestly, I could really use $24,000. But yeah, how much did he pay for these reviews? Do you think that these reviews are paid? I don't know, guys. I don't know, but it just I'm kind of side-eyed. It was just about me where he said I came from nothing. We all come from nothing, out of the mud, trying to build brick by brick. I want all my readers to know that I'm credible to write a book like this because I have lived it. Just feels weird. That's all. Why are my comments hidden? Here we go. Paid? Many reviews are not legit. Oh, he should not unless the money goes to the victims' families, like OJ's book. Did the family receive the money from OJ's book? That's interesting. Thank you, Vic. That's what I thought. Everybody has to pay restitution. Thank you. I got the email. Let me see. Lord have mercy. Am I? Who is this? Here we go. Okay. Thank you. Shout out to Breaking Chains. Thank you for that. Let me check real quick. The channel did this interview. Okay. So oh, okay. Oh shit. All right. Well, I'm not gonna shout out that other person. Oh, it's this creator. Oh Lord have mercy. It's this creator. This is the see, of course she would have platformed this man, of course. I'll definitely review it independently because I don't really want to show this person too much. You know, in true crime, this happens a lot where you have creators that will platform other folks. I'm not surprised that Dylan was platformed by this creator right here because honestly, I mean, she is not one to ask questions. She's one to kind of push a narrative. And my understanding is that this specific creator really hurt the Watts family, Shanann's family. And so I don't want to push that out there. So I'm going to be very, very careful on that. So thank you so much for the heads up on this, but I'm not going to promote this person here. This person really hurt the family. So this interview is literally 3 years old. So this man has been pushing this book in his conversation with, I side eye it all. I side eye that person. I side all of them. So I'm glad I was in my right to question the author of this book and everything. Yes, thank you. She's the same creator who started the fraudulently nonprofit saying that Watts was on the board of directors. Then the Watts came out and said she forged their signatures. We're not promoting fraud, fake, and phony. That's we don't do that here. So thank you so much, Breaking Chains, for the heads up on that because literally I remember people will do anything to gain subscribers, viewers, and everything. And this person just happens to be one of them. I don't even want to say their name because they've been called out before. And that's, yeah. But to me, if she interviewed Dylan Tallman and did all this, then that tells me everything I need to know about Dylan Tallman. I don't know if I believe everything that he says. Honestly, I side eye it all. I could believe that he was roommates with with Chris Watts, but I question. I don't that Ellen. I've heard of this creator before. I've heard a lot about this creator. Like, if you're going as far as to fake people's signatures, like this is getting out of hand when it comes to true crime here, honestly. It's getting way out of hand and it's become way too much for folks. I don't know. You said when I finish my first book, I'm going to ask a prisoner to do a list it for me. Can I do that? No, Kim, you cannot. Exactly. So I appreciated that. Yeah, that's just too much. That's too much, honestly. So I don't believe anything that I'm questioning Dylan, and also you do realize, dude, if you're watching any of the YouTubers, the shit that you're doing right here, using God to talk about, well, God has blessed me and this makes me credible. You sitting next to sharing a cell with Chris Watts doesn't make you credible of anything. Like, you don't get to use their their tragedy, okay, and this man's horrific crimes to profit off of. Like, you don't get to do that. And the way to go about that just doesn't make you credible whatsoever. It's not the way to do it. The way you build brick by brick is by getting it honest. That's what you do. Okay. And a lot of people have to go through that. Okay. Especially when they've been released from jail or prison or whatever. Everybody's got to start over. And this is why I don't look down on anybody with the record, because it's like, I know what that's like in terms of family and everything. So I'll never shame anybody for that. But what I do shame you is for trying to swindle the folks over here, trying to act like, I don't know. Did he write these letters? Dude, I question it. Especially if you're sitting here with this creator over there 3 years ago. I question it all. Question it all. Yes, Tina. It's the same one. There were some I was not on YouTube yet, but I remember watching some of the coverage, and there were people here on YouTube that were mocking Shanann Watts. It was horrible. They were mocking, like they were making fun of Shanann Watts. They were making videos of Shanann Watts, making fun of her. Okay. So for me, it's like, you go like that. That's horrible. So there's always been somebody that there's a whole community of Shanann Watts. There are people that still do videos on Shanann Watts as of today. As of today. Exactly, Vic. They're still up. They're still up there. No, I'm not lying on that. You can Google search. There are people that blame Shanann Watts and stand next to Chris Watts, even after he confessed, even after finding out what he did to these little girls, even after all of that. It's sick. But I'm not buying no damn book, especially now that I know, and I might have to watch this independently, but I'm not believing anything. I'm like, News Nation, you're quoting this man who we need to check and see if it's like legit. It's very problematic. But you know what, Vic? I honestly feel like I think people really wanted there to be a trial for Chris Watts. I think people really wanted there to be like they wanted that for coverage. And now, I was so new to YouTube when all this, stuff was happening with Chris Watts. I mean, I wasn't around. I was just like a subscriber and stuff, right? To the true crime stuff. And it was just watching some of that. I said, you have got to be joking me. And they're still going at it right now. I could agree with that, Fancy Face, that he's exercising that. My only concern is that how are they verifying this information? That's all. Because like I said, I could say that I was cellies with Jodi Arias. But are y'all going to verify everything that I say? Jodi Arias isn't speaking out, right? Or at least in this situation, right? Chris Watts hasn't said anything. He hasn't given an interview. When was the last interview that he gave? He hasn't given an interview in prison, has he? I don't remember. Yes, some people genuinely wanted a trial. Many people wanted a new trial just for the ongoing content. It was really sick because that's what it does. Gotcha, Fancy Face. No worries. That's what he hasn't done a prison interview, has he? He has done one? I don't think I've ever seen one. Let me know, Amy. Listen, I don't understand. So let this man, and I've said it before, y'all need to let Chris Watts be Chris Watts in behind. I'm thinking that this was recent writings and stuff. It's not. It's not. Not whatsoever. See, that's a I have a question about that too. I have a question about that too. Right, Maria? You cannot trust Casey. Hell, I can't even trust half of fucking what I don't trust anything that Scott Peterson says. I'm paying attention to the evidence. Pay attention to the evidence. That's what this is about. But Chris Watts, well, he said it. Scott Peterson hasn't confessed to anything yet. His behavior is very telling. So I must say that. I hope that she does. I would be interested to see if she writes a book. That would be interesting. I'm not gonna lie. Now, I don't know if she can write a book behind bars and would she able profit from that? I don't know. That's it. Right. And then they're using Jesus to we're writing about Jesus and we're confessing to Jesus and it's supposed to be a book. What? Yeah, they have done. Thank you, Crispy, for saying this because I did, like I said, I interviewed an attorney here a couple months ago, and it was on Gypsy Rose. So I had a lot of people ask me about Gypsy Rose and the profiting of crimes and stuff like that. So an attorney came over here and talked a little bit about Gypsy Rose and everything, and he said, some of the Son of Sam laws do not apply to Gypsy Rose. This is why she's able to profit off of these crimes. Yeah. And the Son of Sam law is doesn't apply to everybody. So you're right about that. It does not apply. But anyways, really, Pixie, we've had our freedom of speech taken away. Wow. I don't know. Y'all. I don't know. You said he confessed because he knew they had him and he couldn't take the pressure. I think so too. It's just crazy. It makes you wonder though, what would have happened with what happened? Where is the mistress at now? Nicole. What happened to her? Is she did she leave? Did she change her name or something? She probably changed her name or something. Really? Oh my goodness. Really? Shanann's best friend went live on their death day. The other day I watched it. It broke me all over again. She had it rough, still with the trolls. That's sad. I've never see it. Like I said, I don't know. He said, Mags, that some states don't have it. It only applies, I think, in New York. It doesn't apply in Louisiana. Son of Sam laws don't apply to. They're not federal laws. They're only laws in certain states. I think it was only like 2 states that you can't. Like New York is one of them. If Gypsy Rose had committed that crime in New York, if they had lived in New York, it would have been different. She changed her name and got married. Really? Wow. It only applies to New York. There's another state, though, from what I remember. It was another state, but I can't remember which state it was. So that law only applies in New York. It doesn't apply in Louisiana, and it's not a federal law either. So there's that, I didn't even know she had a cooking channel. That's good, Kale. I'm glad to hear that. No, Billy, unfortunately, you can't. YouTube, I have a feeling that's going to happen next where you can give specific people memberships, but they haven't, it's all at random. I'm always up in the Watts out of it all. Well, I mean, and shout out to you if you're supporting the family. Like, honestly, that's great, because I do feel like there needs to be more support to them. But platforming Dylan Tallman, platforming these folks that are pushing an agenda that's not for the family, it's self-serving, I think is not of God, if that makes sense. So to me, I feel some type of way about Dylan doing that. Let's see. Typical to blame the victim is one thing, but those children were totally innocent. Yeah. Oh, she changed her name, but is still living in the same state. I would imagine that she would have to change at least some identity because of the people that followed this case. That case was huge, guys. Huge. And I mean, her face is all over Netflix. Her face is everywhere. Yes, I've shared it before, Amy. I've shared Frankie's GoFundMe before. You said my understanding is that any profits Watts gets related to the crime goes straight to Shanann's family. That may be why he teams up with others like Dylan. They may promise him some kickback. It's bullshit. I believe Scott. I believe Scott's a lawyer. He's local to me, so I know him. No worries, Candy. Shout out to you. We're going to end this here pretty soon. But anyways, guys, I want to thank everybody for joining me in this conversation. Now you guys got me like looking into this guy right here. You're kidding, right? This Richard Ramirez wannabe lookalike. Just saying. Just saying. I got some other videos I got to work on, but y'all, I will see you guys on the next one. You guys let me know your thoughts in the comments. Thank you so much for your support. Hit that like button, please, and thank you. And you guys have a great rest of your day. Bye, guys. Bye, bye, bye.